In the first video question, Justin Trudeau asked, if you were Prime Minister, what would you do to make the voting process more applicable to young people by making it cooler? My answer is I would not make voting more cool for everyone, because voting is not supposed to be cool or hip. It's supposed to be a respected democratic tradition. People vote because they take politics seriously. In the last federal election, we saw Elections Canada run several ads that were very amateurly done and very poorly presented to young people, making the whole process seem as a joke. Right now, young people are taken as a joke in politics, and as such, they don't take it seriously. If you want young people to start being more actively involved in politics, then you need to start treating them as mature people who have an in-depth knowledge of the issues, rather than just ignoring them and pushing them off to some sandbox thinking they're just regular old kids. They're not. They know these issues. The second question posed to candidates for this competition was, if you were Prime Minister, what would you do to assist the auto industry? If I was Prime Minister, I would give the auto sector a helpful benefit package that would bail them out of their short-term issues, while at the same time imposing restrictions on the auto industry that would be of relevance to the average taxpayer. In the past decade in Saskatchewan, the provincial government was involved in a struggling economic sector of our province, and they got involved with taxpayer dollars into a failing industry with a bad deal. The Saskatchewan taxpayers were put on the hook for a government's bad decision. The last thing that a Canadian Prime Minister should do, while in the midst of economic uncertainty, is put the Canadian taxpayers' dollars at a high-risk situation. The third question about if the Governor-General made the right decision in proroguing Parliament was the final question posed to the candidates in our competition. My answer is yes. It was the right decision by Michelle Jean, our Governor-General, to prorogue Parliament to allow the different political parties to take a step back from the political brinksmanship they were playing and look towards a more responsible and cooperative measure. Right now, the Liberal Party is undergoing a transition with Michael Ignatieff as its new leader, and Stephen Harper is consulting with his party about where the direction they should take in the new sitting of Parliament will be after the new year. This was very important for several reasons. First off, the politicians were becoming more and more partisan as each day passed. By giving them a break, Michelle Jean was able to give them the opportunity to take a step back, consult with Canadians who put them there in the first place, and see where their priorities were. Second, we had a winter election over the Christmas holidays a few years ago, and no one really appreciated it. So the last thing Canadians would have wanted when they're spending time with their families is to be inundated on the television with ads and phone calls from politicians asking for their support. And the final reason is Canadian taxpayers are already on the hook for more than they should be. Right now we're in economic uncertain times, and we're trying to struggle to find out how much money we're going to be in the hole by. The last thing we need to be doing is throwing away money on an election when we just had one a couple months ago.